Brass Tacks Radio with Christina Marcella, your number one station for all things music. When you get down to the brass tacks. Hey guys, Christina here on Brass Tacks Radio, where we compare songs by bands that are heavily influenced by one another. On today's show, we'll narrow in on iconic English rock band Led Zeppelin. First, we'll listen to What You're Doing by Rush in comparison to Zepp's 1969 tune, Heartbreaker. When Rush first released this song in 1974, people started labeling them as the Canadian Led Zeppelin. Here's a sample of each. Next, we'll travel forward to 1989 when Lonely Is the Night by Billy Squier was released, compared to Zepp's 1976 tune, Nobody's Fault But Mine. And finally, the band everyone in the rock community has been talking so much about.
Greta Van Fleet, they are Led Zeppelin 1.
Perhaps more welcome now since Led Zeppelin has been out of the studio for over 3 decades, with the nod from Robert Plant himself. Greta Van Fleet are providing a much needed and appreciated contrast to today's alternative radio. Interestingly enough, when it comes to the perceived mimicry of Robert Plant's singing, this becomes most noticeable with Josh Kiska's vocals during non-verbal screams and vocal ad-libs. Their first hit, Highway Tune, echoes riffs from Jimmy Page on Zepp's legendary song The Rover. Don't believe me? Take a listen. Chested banshee vocals, snaky stutter step guitars, the jazzy fluid bass. Some are saying they're too similar to Led Zeppelin's sound and are blatant rip-offs. On the other hand, some are happy to have a band reviving the hard rock sound of the 70s, bringing it to a new generation of listeners and into a market that's oversaturated with R&B and hip-hop. It's standard practice for the media to compare most bands who reach a certain level to other bands. It's an efficient, if not potentially lazy way to describe them. And let's be honest, it's not like Led Zeppelin hasn't taken lyrics and sounds from the artists before them. For example, Dazed and Confused by Jake Holmes.
I'm dazed and confused since days ago. Been dazed and confused for so long it's not true.
Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You by Joan Baez.
When all summertime, summer comes a-rolling.
Leave you when the summer comes a-rolling.
And You Need Love by Muddy Waters.
Down inside, woman, you need love.
Way down inside, honey, you need it.
History repeats itself, and so does music. And when you get down to the brass tacks, there's worse things to sound like than Led Zeppelin. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Christina Marcella on Brass Tacks Radio.